Welcome, baseball family, to Thursday Night Live episode of the Baseball Together podcast. My name is Brad, and as always, on my left, I have here with me, Mr. Brig.
Ahoy,
How are you, Brig?
Great.
Yeah,
I'm great. How are you, Brad?
I'm doing well. You see playing some cowbell that time?
Yeah, I did see the cowbell.
Yeah, I just need a little bit
Everything's
more.
better with a little extra cowbell, isn't it?
That's right. It is. Well, baseball family, welcome to our Thursday Night Live episode. We have some interesting things to talk about tonight. I feel like something actually dropped like as I was getting ready to actually after I had scheduled this whole thing, had to go and make a change.
Yeah, I did see that.
So
Yep.
we'll get there. But in the meantime, first I want to let you know that we're doing a giveaway on Instagram, by the way. This book right here, Baseball Guy Gene, Chasing a Dream to Japan and Back. Head over to Instagram and find out how you can enter to win it. Giveaway ends next week, so time is running short. Okay,
better hurry.
Let's get into this stuff, Brig. First things first, Joey Votto retired from baseball. I think
sure did.
I think we knew this was coming. Yeah,
not surprised.
Sure feels like it.
Not in the least surprised.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, he was playing in the minors for the Blue Jays. He's playing in Buffalo, the Buffalo Bisons. Yeah. And I wonder if he had just been waiting to see if the Blue Jays were going to call him up for their series against Cincinnati.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. I was thinking that if they were going to make a playoff push, he'd hang out, but that has crumbled.
Well, and I don't know. I don't know if that would have been the case. Just because you could only add two more guys, pitcher and a hitter, and I don't know if he would have been the hitter they were going to add.
Correct. I don't know either.
So I don't know. I think it was the Cincinnati series, but he said in his own words, basically what he said was, I haven't been playing well enough to warrant it. That yes, there are some people in Cincinnati who would want to see me play, but I could not put on the kind of show that they want to see from me. So I'm gonna hang it up.
Yeah. He's always been really self-aware, and
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, he has a future in television, guaranteed.
Oh yeah,
first team all personality, and he's going to do great.
I think so too. I agree.
So some of the numbers: 17 years in the big leagues, all with Cincinnati. 6-time All-Star, won an MVP, won a Gold Glove, ended with 356 homers, a 294 career batting average, 144 OPS plus, and 64.5 career WAR. The question, Brig,
that's pretty good.
Is Joey Votto a Hall of Famer, though?
I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be one of those that comes down to voter preferences, who he's up against on the ballot, how many years he might have to go. He's not a first ballot guy.
No, he's not.
But I can see, if he ages well in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th year, something like that, I can see it happening.
Possibly. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think one of the things that could happen is I think I think it depends on the level of research voters want to do on Joey Votto, because there are some insane stats about his hitting ability. There was that one a couple years ago that it was like Joey Votto was gone 752 at bats without popping out to the first baseman. It's like,
yeah,
nobody does that, right? Something like that.
Right.
Like it had basically been like a year or something like that, or almost a year since he had popped out to the first baseman. It's like, well, that's bizarre, but it's because he was a good hitter. He put bat on ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of those stats are really obscure, though. Like the one you referenced is that a Hall of Fame stat, or is that a Gee Whiz stat? That seems like a ESPN Sunday Night Baseball stat.
It is. It really is. But also, though, I feel like it's one of those things that can point you kind of down a rabbit hole of his hitting ability, of his ability as a player, right? Like
I agree with you there.
In a direction like, okay, so why? What was he doing otherwise? Was he striking out a ton? Maybe for a stretch. Oh, he was putting the ball in play. Like he was hitting it on a line. And so I don't know, but
yeah,
I think something like that could point you in a direction, have you be really curious and be like, I found these specific stats right here, like exact measurable statistics that say this is why Joey Votto is a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if it'll happen, but
again, I wouldn't be surprised either. I think what's going to happen too is we're going to see how batting averages are looked at cumulatively throughout this sort of portion of his career, and how he stacks up against the context of the same time frame. Because at
Hmm.
294, today a 294 is killer, but
Yeah.
not that long ago it wasn't Hall of Fame worthy. So it'll be interesting to see.
So here's this for you. He led the league in doubles once.
Hmm.
Led the league in walks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Led the
Hmm.
league in on base percentage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Led the league in slug once and OPS twice. OPS
Okay.
plus once. He wasn't even an all star that year.
Interesting.
They did led the league in OPS plus. That was 2016.
Yeah.
So, and intentional walks 3 times. So pitchers still didn't want to pitch to him. And I think like you get like a Yu Darvish too, who's like might even like petition for him because Votto. I remember
Sure.
seeing on social media Votto called out his two seamer. He's like, "That's a terrifying pitch because it looks like it's going to hit you in the
Right.
left-handed batter's box." And Darvish replied and said, "I came up with that pitch because I was facing you so often." What
Yeah,
better compliment do you have for somebody?
that's incredible.
I had to change my pitching arsenal because I was pitching against you. So
That's fantastic. I think that maybe you're right. Maybe there is some campaigning that goes on and some support from the rafters and from the peanut gallery. That could
I
be
think
cool.
so. I think he'll get it. I don't know if it'll work, but I think he'll get it.
The support, you mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about Scott Service for just a couple minutes. So this is really,
Okay.
I was caught off guard by this, Brig. Scott Service is
Yeah.
fired today.
Yeah.
The announcement came down. Ken Rosenthal broke the news, and then this is the thing that's really weird about this too is that Service found out from Rosenthal breaking the news. That
Right.
it was later. Depoto called and was like, "Hey, you should come in the office." He's like, "Oh, really?
Do you though?
Well, this is awkward."
Thank you. No.
Sorry, I'm busy. Catch you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got plans today. Um, but not only was Service fired, the manager, the hitting coach Jarrett DeHart was fired as well. Which I feel like that's the move that needed to be made
Yeah.
because
Oh
the
yeah.
offense has gotten progressively worse year over year since he's been here. It's like maybe make him, maybe you'll get rid of him first, maybe not. I don't know. But this is the thing that's super interesting, Brig. He's getting replaced by Dan Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, howdy, Brig, I'm so excited. I
Dude,
love me some
Seattle
Dan Wilson.
fans love Dan Wilson. They just love him so
How
much.
can you not? How can you not? Brig, I literally wore number 6 because of Dan Wilson
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
a
I
kid.
got it. I got it.
Like my
It's
baseball
awesome.
together jersey is number 6 because of Dan Wilson. One of the
Yep.
reasons my son is named Wilson is because of Dan Wilson.
That's awesome.
We get
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, I'm
like
making the statement for people that aren't aware of Seattle
you're
sports.
right.
Like, this name is a big deal to
Big deal.
Seattle
Okay,
Mariners
so not
fans.
only is it a big deal because he's a longtime fan favorite, but he's been with the organization for a long time since he retired. He's
Right.
been working with player development for years. Like break. I mean, I don't remember if you saw it or not, but at spring training, when you went to the backfields with me, I don't know if we saw Dan Wilson doing this or not, but he is always out there working with guys. He spends a lot of time with the catchers, obviously,
Obviously.
right?
Right.
But he spends a ton of time out on the field with like the lower level guys. He's managed like I think every single level at some point in the Mariners system and done well.
That's sweet.
Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. Not just fans in the organization. The players love Dan Wilson. And you can see it with the way he talks to them and works with them. That they are all ears when he's talking to them.
That's awesome.
So it's an outstanding move. Apparently he's bringing on Edgar Martinez as his hitting coach.
Oh boy.
Another
Getting the band back
outstanding move.
together.
It's really what it feels like. So Edgar
Yeah.
Edgar has had the job before, and it went fine. It went okay, but he ended up stepping away because he said that he wanted to spend time with his kids, which I got because
Yeah.
he's
It's
like
fine.
they've reached an age where I want to be home with them. It's like that's cool, but he's
Hmm.
still been around, right? So he's
Yeah.
going to be the hitting coach, and this is the thing that's most interesting about this Brig is that they announced that he's a full time manager. They did not attach an interim tag to his title,
Right.
so.
That's fascinating.
Hmm.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. One more thing, real quick, before we move on. This
Okay.
is about Scott Servais. Okay, so he
Mm-hmm.
was with the Mariners as the manager. Made his managerial debut with the Mariners.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With the Mariners for 8 3/4 of a season,
Mm-hmm.
right? Overall record of 680 wins and 642 losses. That's 514 for those of you keeping track. Currently, the Mariners are 64-64. So if you put this season at 500 for Scott Servais, and then if you throw out the COVID season where they were 27-33, because you can pretty much throw those numbers out anyway for the most part, he had 2 losing seasons, was all
Hmm.
during that time.
That's
He
not
had a
bad.
losing season in 2017 and then in 2019. In 2000, and really both those years, in 2017, they started a little bit of a rebuild, and after 2000, before 2019, they tore it all down.
Yeah, I was going to say that he hasn't
So,
always had the roster.
right. But he's done well. He's been
Yeah,
robbed of manager of the year a couple times. And so
that's for sure.
I think he's going to go somewhere to a team that is willing to spend the money to put the team together for him. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to do really well.
Yeah,
I
this is
think
not
things are
his
going to go
last
well
job.
for him. No, not even close.
No, no.
He's going to go somewhere and be really, really successful. And I hope he does.
Yeah, I
I just
agree.
hope that he doesn't beat the Mariners in a World Series when he does.
Yeah, well, just watch it happen.
It probably will.
I hate to break it to you.
That's how it
That's
goes.
too poetic to avoid.
All right, let's talk about Jesse Winker for a minute, Brick, because I want to know what
Okay.
you think about this. So here's the
Okay.
situation. This is a Wednesday afternoon game. The Orioles at the Mets. The game is tied 3-3 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Jesse Winker comes up to lead off the inning. Pinch hitting, by the way, for Harrison Bader facing Sir Anthony Dominguez. And here's the play right here. Spoilers, Winker hits a line drive to deep left center field, and it is gone. Now watch Winker. Okay. He's very excited.
Yeah.
Right here. Here's a good view right here. He stops,
Yeah.
throws his helmet, throws the arm guard, and then he stops before he gets a home plate too. Don't read
Yeah.
lips here, folks, because we don't
Yeah.
need you
No, don't
to.
do that.
So I want to know what you think about this before we get too deep into it, or I guess to start us off
Uh,
with it.
okay. All right. I like the fire. I like the excitement. However, I think that was a little over the top. And if they were in a bigger uh playoff race position, then that would be one thing. But they're not. They're not. Let me just double check. Let me make sure they're still 8.5 back in the division.
Well, they're
And
they're not going to win the division. They were never going to win the division.
yeah. Let me see what the wild card says right now, because I'm pretty sure it's not
The wild
as
card says they are
specified.
2 back of the Braves, 2 back of the Bravos, Brig.
Okay. Okay. That changes my opinion just a little bit.
I'm saying.
I think that he's going to catch hell for this from
Oh, he
all over
did.
the
He did.
place.
Somebody called him out and said that it was wildly inappropriate. And he shouldn't have done it. I was like,
Yeah, I'm still going to say it was over the top, but I'm not going to say that it wasn't warranted to be as excited as he was. I just think his display was a little too much. That's all.
okay, this is my thing. You just ground out a win against one of the top 3 teams in baseball when you're
Yeah,
trying to get a fire going and try to catch the Braves, who are absolutely gettable right now.
totally gettable.
Absolutely. They are depleted. They may have had the knockout punch in an injury with Austin Riley getting injured the other day.
Yep.
It's it's cars when Lightning McQueen blows a tire and the King and what's his bucket kick it into high gear and they go around. Like
Yep.
that's what this is with the Mets. That's what this is. I love every single bit about it. And I want to quote Daniel Tosh real quick. Like, you hit a home run, have a 10-minute tea party at home plate. I don't care. It's a game. Have
It
fun.
is a game. It is, and I think I'm less upset because it was a walk off and there's no disruption to the game of any kind. If this had happened any time earlier in the contest, that would have been a problem.
I think if it had happened even in the bottom of the 8th inning, the next guy up would have gotten hit, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I think
Oh
if you're
yeah.
gonna do it, it has to be a walk off. Like Alex
Oh, for
Bregman
sure.
trying to hand his bat to the first base coach a couple years ago in the World Series. Like I was like, okay, dude, like come
Yeah.
on now. Like that was I loved
Come on,
it a
dude.
little bit, but like
Yeah, yeah.
it was a little bit much. But this is a walk off. Do it, man. I don't care. Run the bases
Yeah, if
backwards.
it's a walk off.
Sachet, baby. Like whatever. Gallop on your fake horse.
You're
Whatever.
so funny, dude. I think I don't know. I felt like it was a little over the top, but I'm not upset about it. I just think he's gonna catch hell for it. And not just in the media.
That reminds me a little bit of heavyweights. The villain was a bit over the top.
Yeah. I love that
Anyway,
movie.
all right, let's move on. I loved it,
Rapper.
every bit of it, and I'm
Rapper.
not a huge Jesse
No.
Winker fan these days. Baseball family, we want to remind you about Patreon. You can support the show by heading over to patreon.com and searching baseball together, or clicking the link down in the description. You can support the show directly by becoming one of our rooters. We have 5 tiers of support: $1, $5, $10, $15, and a comically large $500 a month. Go see what everybody gets, different perks, prizes, whatever. But everybody gets the bullpen cut of the big show, which is the unedited version where we're doing all our planning and there's some side stories and jokes and stuff that happen between segments, stuff like that. So you get all that there. And sometimes you get extra stories from guests and stuff too. That's over at patreon.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you consume the show, especially on YouTube and social media. We are on TikTok and Instagram mostly. All right, Brig.
Don't forget
You want to
that
get us
Aaron Judge
into
hit his 48th home run tonight, or this afternoon. 48. That's 6 in the last 7 games, and what did I tell you? 45 or something in the last 99 or
44
something
in the
like
last
that.
99, something. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like every other. So I just checked. He's officially on pace for 60 as of this moment.
Nice.
Ooh, boy. If you were watching
Very
a week
cool.
ago, you know what a big deal that is. Okay, we can keep going now.
All right. Let's get into the national TV schedule. I'll start us off, Brig. So this is really
Okay.
cool this weekend. MLB TV free game of the day. Every game. Every game is free this weekend, except for the Apple TV Plus games. You got to pay to play for those.
That's true.
Speaking of Apple TV Plus, those games, you've got the Reds at the Pirates at 6:40 p.m. and the Cards at the Twins at 8:10 p.m. And then ESPN Plus, you also have the Cubs at the Marlins at 7:10 p.m.
Saturday, MLB TV free game of the day is every game. That's it. Because there's nothing on FS1. There's nothing on Fox. ESPN Plus will have the Tigers against the White Sox at 7:10 p.m. on Saturday. But everything else is free on MLB TV.
It's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move.
Yeah.
Good way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta if you're gonna compete with college football, you gotta try to get eyes on those games any way that you can. I love it, especially as things start to heat up as we get into the later part of August.
I think they should do it the whole month of September.
I think they should too. At the very least, every weekend.
There you go. That'd be great.
Okay, let's talk about Sunday. Again, every game is free except for your Roku and ESPN games. On your Roku game is the Nats at the Braves at 12:05 p.m. I keep forgetting to put on the
It's okay.
notes.
We know what it is, Brad.
I know, but it throws me off every single time. ESPN Plus has the Phillies at the Royals at 2:10 p.m. and then ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. You got the Astros at the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a real
the
good one.
Orioles are currently losing.
Oh, are they playing right now?
Yep. It's the bottom of the ninth. Last time I checked, bottom of the ninth, Houston's up 6-0 over Baltimore in Baltimore.
You know,
So the
they
Yankees
keep
went
saying
up another half a game today, making it a full game.
they keep saying the Astros are inevitable, and it sure feels like it. And I hate every bit of it.
Like, I don't know what.
Because this is the thing, Brick. So I was ready. I was ready to come on here as Surly Brad, dressed all in black, and to bury the Mariners for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Then I was like, well, hold the phone. The Mariners have the Giants at home this weekend, and then the Astros are going to be in Baltimore. And then you get the managerial fire lit under the team.
That's what I was thinking.
Pretty good shot at picking up a couple games this weekend. But then this crap happens.
And Baltimore just rolls over.
Yeah.
Which is great for the
Help.
AL East standings for me, but it's terrible for anybody who doesn't want Houston to win.
Most of the league, I would say.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. All right, before we get into our series to watch, which is brought to you by SeatGeek, if you're going to a game this weekend, if we were going to games this weekend, these are the games we would go to, and we would use SeatGeek to get our tickets to get there. You can too by heading to SeatGeek.com and using code BaseballTogether, that's one word, BaseballTogether, and save $20 on your first order. That's Baseball Together, again, one word, at SeatGeek.com to get your tickets to the biggest games this weekend and any other times. We talked about college football, Brig. It still works for that too, by the way.
Sure does.
Also, SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MLB. So what series are you watching this weekend, Brig? What are you keeping an eye on?
So I am going to watch the Yankees play the Colorado Rockies, who will be in the Boogie Down. That is going to be really interesting, and I expect them to lose one because why would they? Why not? And I hope it's because they're storing up some gas. But I fear that it will be just a slip, a little slip up.
They just lay an egg.
Yeah, I think Boston and Arizona is really interesting. Baltimore facing the Astros is really interesting. And then Philly and Kansas City, fascinating. That is going to be really fun to watch. Mets Padres, that'll be interesting. Yep. Be watching those
for sure. I'm gonna be watching tons of Mets Padres this weekend. Absolutely, Phillies at Royals as well, because this is the thing. Was the Royals have that third wild card spot, but
yeah,
I've seen Royals fans on social media over the last few days like, we're not gonna lose this wild card spot. The Mariners and the Red Sox are gonna give it to us. Like, we're pretty lucky, and that's sure what it seems like as well. Of course, I can't help it. I am gonna watch the Mariners and the Giants just because I have to. Right? Like, this is the thing. It's like I've been saying, like, I'm done. I'm not gonna watch any more seasons over. But so, like, what time does tomorrow's game start? Like, I think I've said that like 5 times this year. Yeah. It's just getting to be absurd. But I'm gonna continue to watch because, and this is the other thing I've decided, Brig, is that even when they're eliminated, I'm gonna continue to watch because guess what? There's gonna come a time in December when I'm gonna say, man, I sure wish I could watch the Mariners baseball right now.
That's right.
So I gotta get as many of these 162 as I can.
For the record, it is at 10:10 Eastern tomorrow.
Which one is?
They play 10:10 Eastern tomorrow, Seattle and San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they pushed those starts back now that school started so that kids can get there after school. Because they started doing those, I think, at like 6:40 once school gets out.
Yeah.
And then once school starts up, they push them back again. Kind of an interesting thing to be with that Major League Baseball does. Okay, let's get into today in baseball history. Yeah, got to get the kids there. 100%. Agreed. Today in baseball history, August 22nd, 1984, at age 19, New York Mets pitcher Dwight Gooden K's 9 San Diego Padres to become the 11th rookie to strike out 200 batters in one season. And the fact that he did it in the middle of August is crazy.
As a rookie.
The rookie, that's insane.
That's what they call banana pancakes.
I agree with you. So, Brig, what are you doing this weekend? You got homework?
Oh, yeah. I was homework every day.
I
was doing homework until I showed up here.
I believe you. I know.
That's all I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on a deadline every 3 hours, it feels like.
It feels like you are, indeed. Yes. I'm going to be reading this weekend, 100%. Yeah. I'm trying to finish the Maze Runner trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I took the day off my day job tomorrow, so I'll probably finish it during the day.
Oh, sweet.
I only have about 35% left to go, according to my Kindle. So, I'm excited.
I might have to hit you up. I might have to hit you up to read one of my stories, which brings me to my next point. Baseball family. I don't know why we haven't talked about this yet, but I write fiction. I write baseball stories right now, and I had one of them published. You can go to theunderreview.com. That's the name of the journal that just published one of my stories. It is issue 10, Under Fiction. I'm one of 4 stories. You go there, and we're working with them to get some guests on the show to talk about the intersection between baseball and storytelling, because this is such a magical game, and there's so many stories that go untold. And so whether it's fiction or nonfiction, we bring you books all the time. Now it's time to maybe start bringing you some short stories and novels and things like that. So I'm going to lead the charge on it. You can go read mine at the Under Review. The story is called Behind the Applause.
Love it. It's really good. I've read it several times, actually.
Yeah,
So
thanks,
it's
buddy.
a good one. It's really great. So before we get out of here, I want to remind everybody about Seed Sack. Head over to seed-sack.com. There's always a link down in the description. You can get there. Use code baseball, the number 2 together. That's baseball together, and save 5% off your order and support the show while you're at it. These are the best things for seeds ever. It has this little clasp thing right here. And that's how you keep your seeds in one spot. You don't lose them. You can keep them in your pocket. It's fantastic. I need to buy some more seeds from chinookseedery.com to refill it. By the way, use code BTPod to save 10% off that order. Support your mouth, support your wallet, support the show with the best seeds ever. And with that, baseball family, we will catch you on the big show next week.